for meeting me. I'm absolutely delighted to do this interview, very honoured, and really love what you're doing to promote poets around Wales and beyond. I actually studied languages at university when I was younger, but then went into a number of different jobs and ended up being furloughed during COVID. And at that moment, a lot of people were reconsidering their pathways, and it just made me think, why don't I just do something I love? And I found a few writing courses and ended up studying at first through the OU and then completing my Masters with Bangor University. And I wouldn't have wanted to complete it anywhere else. What Zoe Scolding does up there with experimental poetry and all the staff, the support, I felt really amazed to find this world and delighted to find my joy in creative writing. Out of Harm's Way, after Kinmore. Is it self-harm if I fell in harm's way? Is it self-neglect if I don't care for my own welfare? Is it self-forgetting if I took no time to heal? Is it self-soothing if I suck on the memory? Is it self-loathing if the memory sucks on me? Is it self-effacing if I turn away from the mirror? Is it self-aware if I trusted the universe to guide me? Is it a crime if I let him rape me twice? I feel very connected to where I live, and I was very pleased at Bangor that we do a lot of focus on performance of the poems, and that's part of my creative practice now. And I do run an open mic, and I run that for other people also to get the opportunity to enjoy the performance, but get the benefits out of it. And I think that being part of a community, a writing community, and there are many in North Wales, but bringing that together is an invaluable part of my poetry, my creative practice. I feel like the poems breathe differently when being performed, and it's like another edit. And yes, I don't think I could have written my pamphlet without all those experiences. And yes, and where we come from informs everything we do. The memories, our journeys, and yes, I'm very lucky to live where I do. The ways the geography does impact my writing, some of my writing is about identity and gendered experience, and I guess I've always felt a certain safety being behind this Eryri mountain range. There's sort of a freedom from some, I grew up working class. My mum left my father and we moved to Anglesey. It was a haven, I guess you'd say, and in that safe haven I was able to have a happy childhood that might not have worked out another way. So I think where you live is a home, but when you move about a lot, you create these connections in a number of places. But I always feel this tug when I come down the North Wales coastline, a happiness at returning home. I feel very lucky to have that, and I think in my poetry I'm able to express much stronger things from that safe place. I think speaking and writing in another language shifts your lens, and in another language again shifts it. And some of my themes on consent, sexual assault are difficult to broach without being able to step away a little. So I think language has that enormous flexibility to dive into a word and step back and look at it from a different point of view. And I think growing up bilingual, you develop that elasticity very young, and I loved it, and I travelled to other countries. I just kept loving being in a new culture and looking back through a different lens at my own. Yeah, I may destroy you, I consider the pros and cons of consent, how sensual, consensual must feel done right. Some former Mr. Right, unreal, reality bites a raw hand, once dealt, left, asexual, irrevocable words buried. Cacophony of recognition, I dance my way into a corner to think long and hard about what I had done. An unseen ring grows inside my tree, slim band of memory. Tender dignity needs tending to, too painful to uproot. Regrowth cannot regenerate that self, same security, erasure, so sure. It's a very wonderful, lucky story actually. Hedgehog Press is a fab independent press, and Mark does so much to champion new writers. I'd entered a couple of Mark's competitions and got highly commended a couple of times. And I thought, oh, what is it? What am I not doing quite right? And then he just approached me and said, I'm starting this Crimson Spine series. Would you like to be the first? And of course, I was delighted. But it's a compact size, so I had a number of long poems that I chose to cut, and I think in that edit, it's grown into a much stronger pamphlet from choosing and cutting down to those very to the bone of what I wanted to say. There is identity, desire and consent, because I think in society there's a lot of acknowledgement of the male gaze but not of its effect, and I think there has to be more discourse around that, around how we feel being gazed at, what the consequences are of that, how it changes how you move about in the world. And I also talk a little about my experiences of epilepsy, and I don't know whether that comes across. I always worry as a poet that you're hiding so much in a poem, but no, it felt quite freeing to speak about that. But the Art of Silence is my prize-winning pamphlet. That's the one that won the proper pamphlet competition with Hedgehog, and it really has a lot of those longer poems I couldn't put in the first one, but also a lot of the poems that lean into pop culture, art culture, the media, responding to a song like ABBA or Walk on the Wild Side. These songs are songs I've loved but have looked at through a new lens or in reflection to women's experiences in society. And then State of the Nations, I was very delighted that Bryony accepted that. I've admired Bryony's work for a long time, and know she's a wonderful editor to work with. But this pamphlet is a franker and funnier, perhaps, hopefully, look at the patriarchy and some of those things that we have to deal with in society that were we not structured in this way, perhaps we could live it in a different way, a new way of living. More hopeful, hopefully.